Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football. Welcome back to the channel. I've got another mock draft video to help you guys out with your redraft season. Most of you guys have asked for this in the comments. This is a 2-quarterback or Superflex league to help you guys with your mock drafts or redrafts that are coming up. So let's jump into it. One video here, and I put myself in the 7th spot of a 12-team full PPR 2-quarterback league, and hopefully this kind of helps you kind of see how these drafts go, because unlike a traditional draft, your quarterbacks are very valuable and those are going to start flying by in the first round or two. And again, being that this is 2-quarterback, or if you want to call it a super flex, this is the type of format where I hopefully gives you guys some insight. You're going to see players go in different rounds that you probably do in a normal redraft format and full PPR. So again, this is to kind of give you some insights. So let's jump right into see how this mock draft goes. Now, if this is my first draft in a 2-quarterback or a super flex league, you've got to go quarterback in the first round for sure. You could go quarterback in the second round. Realistically, you could also go into get maybe a running back or a wide receiver because the value is so strong. Now, surprisingly, you may have some league mates who may be new to this type of format. You'll see players like Chase or Gibbs or Bijan go there, which can happen. But realistically, in a 2-quarterback league, you want to establish your starting quarterback in that first round. So looking at that, you see obviously Allen, Jackson, Daniels. I get it. Those guys are gonna be off the board. Here, I'm gonna go grab Burrow. You could grab Hurts as well. Maybe you get him in the second round, but most likely he's gone. So Burrow, I think, is a great option. I love the offense that he's got around him with Higgins and Chase, and I love Chase Brown as well. This offense is set up to be very successful for him. So again, quarterback is super valuable. Now you saw obviously Jalen Hurts go in that first round, and now this is where you get in that weird spot. I've got Joe Burrow, who I absolutely want to have on my team. Love the offense. Now, I've got to figure out, do I want to go quarterback again because I got a player like Patrick Mahomes here available, or do I want to start building some of my pieces around it? This is where things get a little bit tough. Now, in a traditional draft in a 2QB, you're going to see a lot of these quarterbacks go pretty early. So to have the fact that I can get Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow is going to actually kind of be a cheat code. It's not likely what's going to happen. So if, let's just say Patrick Mahomes wasn't here, then I would have grabbed a wide receiver or a running back here. But the fact is, Patrick Mahomes is here, and you're going to have to grab him. So that way I can get both my starting quarterbacks there. And then, of course, being that it is a super flex / 2QB, you have to get at least a third. You got to think bye weeks. You got to think injuries, things like that, because the quarterback position is way too overpowerful in the type of draft like this. So I've got my quarterbacks here. Now I've got to start getting the rest of my roster. Now you see some of these guys in this mock draft is getting a lot of running backs. Again, not likely you're going to see that. It's possible. You might have some league mates that might do that. Typically, that's not going to happen. Now, being that wide receiver is so deep, I'm actually going to end up grabbing Chase Brown here, because I want to get a running back at least, because running back is such a hard position to get, especially a starting running back in most cases. If you can get started running back in the 3rd round in a super flex / 2QB, absolutely you want to get them. Because again, wide receiver is so deep, I can get them a little bit later. And looking at the options here, when I'm looking at best available, I can always go quarterback again if I want. Maybe a Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray. Not worth it. I want to build the rest of this roster and get a 3rd quarterback later on in the draft. So I love the option of Garrett Wilson here. I could maybe pair up Joe Burrow with T. Higgins, Rashee Rice with Patrick Mahomes, even though there's a suspension lingering. We're not sure exactly how that's going to be. Or maybe I could grab running backs again. For me, again, as much as I want to grab a top-tier wide receiver, I think this is a good move to go. I'm going to grab my running back here and grab Kenneth Walker. That way I can shore up that position, which is, again, a lot less depth. I can still get a really good wide receiver in the next couple rounds just because the depth is there. Now, you're starting to see some of the quarterbacks again. Again, being that it's 2QB, quarterbacks can be scattered throughout rounds 1 through 6 really, really easily. So for me, I'm going to end up grabbing, again, a 3rd quarterback later on because I've got my top 2. And looking at the options here, again, filling out the rest of the roster, I got to start gearing up wide receivers and things like that. Looking at these options, I love DJ Moore here. Got to pick him up. I think he's in a good position to have some great success with Caleb Williams. I love the Bears offense. I love what's going to happen in this Bears offense. And I think DJ Moore is going to be the one that is going to have the most success in it. And then I'm going to get my second wide receiver here. You could go tight end, maybe a little early if you want, but I'm going to go grab a second wide receiver here. And looking at my second wide receiver here, I'm going to actually end up going DK Metcalf. I like where DK Metcalf is. He's one of the only options, realistically, besides a couple tight ends for Aaron Rodgers. So again, Metcalf is a really good option. And I feel really good about this starting lineup for this team. Burrow, Mahomes, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker. Love what I've got here. Now it's best available. Now, if I can get a quarterback a little bit later, like a Dak Prescott or something like that, I will. I'm not going to yet. I'm going to actually get a Jalen Waddle here. I like Waddle a lot as a nice flex play. I think he's set up to have some great success. I know there's a lot of uncertainty with Tyreek Hill. Not really sure how that's going to play out for the Dolphins. The offense is kind of struggling a little bit so far this offseason and in training camp and in preseason. Maybe some of it's just being held back, but again, I love Jalen Waddle. If I didn't grab Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley is another good option I really like too. And looking at the options here, you might want to start considering a tight end here if you can. Tight end options are very far and few. You start seeing Hawkinson and Andrews and Kelsey and Warren, all these guys here. So I'm going to grab my starting tight end here in Evan Ingram. So realistically, I've got my starting lineup here. I feel really good about it. Evan Ingram's in a good position. Again, last time he's had a really solid offense around him was in Jacksonville where he had over 100 catches. I could easily see that for the Broncos. Now, you've got kicker, defense, and of course bench, plus maybe a backup quarterback. And looking at the options here, not super in love with the backup quarterbacks yet. I think it's a little bit of reach, even though I do like Bryce Young. I think he's going to be awesome going forward. So again, I want to get some players that I think can actually really do well for this. I'm going to grab Jalen Warren here as a nice little backup running back. I would love to have had a better, solid running back there, but I like Jalen Warren there. If Tyron Tracy had fallen, I would have gotten him, because I like Tracy in this offense for the Giants. He looks really good so far. But I like Jalen Warren as well because he's getting mixed in with Caleb Johnson. And then looking at the rest of this, I do have to still get a kicker and defense. So I got two here. So I got really three spots here. I do want to get a third quarterback because I think it's worth it. I am going to pair up Zach Charbonnet with Kenneth Walker just because there's always that handcuff capability what you may need to have for Walker, even though I don't think he's necessarily a running back that is known for injuries, but I do want to get him there. And then looking at the rest of this, I would love to have gotten Josh Downs. He would have been my favorite pick going forward, but unfortunately he's not there. I am going to take the rookie Jaden Higgins. He looks really good for the Houston Texans so far. He's going to be essentially the wide receiver 2 opposite of Nico Collins. I do think that they're going to be forced to to throw the ball a lot more. We're not sure what's going on with the running back position with Joe Mixon. You got Nick Chubb, who's okay. He looks kind of old. He doesn't look amazing. So again, I like Jaden Higgins a lot. I am going to get my third quarterback here, and I'm actually going to end up getting Matthew Stafford. Yes, there's risk there. You could always go safer and get like Geno or Sam Darnold, but Stafford, if he can get through this back injury, I think is set up to have a really good season with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams back there. I love this offense for the Rams. He just hopefully does stay healthy. Now I got to get my kicker and defense. Look at the kickers. I've got to get the best kicker in the game in Brandon Aubrey. He is an absolute monster. He's a beast. Love what he's been able to do for the Dallas Cowboys. He can kick beyond 60, beyond 70, I feel like. And he's a nice little weapon when it comes to fantasy. And then, of course, I'm going to get my defense. And looking at the defense here between these options here, the Minnesota Vikings and Baltimore Ravens are great ones. I'm going to go to the Baltimore Ravens. They have always had some great success, so I really like them there. So that's my essential 7th spot of a 12-team, 2-quarterback draft. Hopefully you guys feel really good about it, because I feel really good about it. I like where these players are because again, the backups are great. I love the wide receivers I've got. I like the running backs, the starting running backs, and then I feel really good about the depth there. So I feel really good. Let's talk about it. So that is my 2-quarterback / Superflex draft. Hopefully you guys have gotten some insight, gotten maybe some pointers or two here to help you guys out with that, because again, the 2-quarterback Superflex type of leagues are a little bit different. The strategy is different. How you draft players are different. And again, give you some insight of how things are going to happen. Now, of course, with these mock drafts, they're not always perfect. Your league mates might be different. And as you can see, the league mates were a little different in the computer there, but hopefully these helped you out. If you guys have other redrafts you want to see done, again, hit me up in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and I'll check you guys out next time.